Thanks for tuning in the Football Talk Squadron. I'm Dutch.
I'm Maul.
Pops can't hear you. Pops is on. We'll see if he can figure out his mic. But thanks for tuning in. Week 18 of the NFL season. Before we get into it, I do, for those of you who are listening and not watching, do have bringing back the Jeopardy board. I gave these guys a warning yesterday. They've got 5 different categories. We're trying to go through them all just because it's playoff teams. Running back, wide receiver, tight end, defense, special teams. We haven't played Guess the Player or Guess the College in a long time, so I figured I'd give these guys a heads up. I will give you guys a warning. So I didn't go just absolute scrubs. Some of these guys, you will recognize names. Now, running backs especially, like they are second-string guys. Now, they do play. Like, you're not having guys that don't play, but they're second stringers. Special teams, I didn't want to give you all a heads up because it would have been easier for you to go look. And this is only of the playoff teams. Now, as I'm sitting here rocking the Baker Mayfield creamsicle jersey, shout out to my wife for the Christmas gift. These are just the playoff teams. The Bucks are included, Panthers are included, Ravens and Steelers are included. Special teams, just kickers. So if you think that you know your kickers, then you'll do well, with special teams. But Pops, you with us?
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yeah,
Pops is back. Sort of like the Bears. They missed out in the fourth quarter, but here they are again trying to get a win.
That BS hands to the face on CJGJ.
No, don't give me. Y'all gave up 5 touchdown passes to Purdy. Purdy looked like Joe Montana reborn out there.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. So, all right. Give it to either one of you guys. Who wants to go first?
I'll take running backs.
Okay, running backs 100. Tank Bigsby from the Eagles.
And we're doing where they went to college.
Yep, it's all where they went to college.
Rutgers.
Auburn.
Yeah.
200. Zach Charbonnet for Seattle.
Ooh, I'm blanking on him too. UCLA.
You are correct. UCLA. I figured that Southern Cowboy might know. 300. Rico Dow for the Panthers. Some of these are starters. Huh?
I said, does Pops know all these?
No, dude. Like that's the thing. I'm sitting here like, gosh.
Was he Memphis?
He's not Memphis. South Carolina. 400. Starting running back for the Broncos, R.J. Harvey.
Dude, I should know all these because these dudes like just came out, but what was R.J. Harvey? Yeah, I got nothing. Pops.
Central Florida.
There you go.
There you guys.
And 500. The backup running back for the Ravens, Keontae Mitchell.
Gosh, dude. Now you're just making us look.
This is a pirate ship logo. Or a pirate ship
ECU.
theme. There you go, ECU. I'll give you a little bit of hints. All right, Pops.
Oh, I'm not going to do any better, but
Yeah, this is team effort.
let's go wide receivers. We'll just keep it going.
Wide receiver 100. Brandon Cooks.
Dang. It's like 20 years ago.
He's playing. He's catching balls.
No.
Pac-12 school. Pac-12 school.
Cal?
Current Pac-12 school.
Oregon State.
Oregon State.
No.
I was about to say old Pac-12, that I was like, no, they're still in Pac-12. Pac-2 now. 200. Nico Collins, Texans. This one surprised me. It's a big name school.
He's Ole Miss, wasn't he?
Not Ole Miss. Michigan.
I feel like I just looked that up.
All right, Pops, let's see how well you know the Bears. He's had a good rookie season.
Yeah,
he's made his plays. Jahade Walker.
Yeah, dude. I don't know where he went to college. I'll be honest with you.
Gosh. Texas A&M.
There it is.
New England Patriots.
LSU.
Butte went to LSU.
Oh, only because he was gambling all the time.
Green Bay Packers. Romeo Dobbs.
You know him all.
No, he feels like a Central Florida type of guy, though, something like that, too, though. but I
Out
don't know.
west. Mountain West School.
Did he play with Jordan Love?
Boise State.
No,
Not
Jordan
Boise.
Love went to Utah State.
Correct. Jordan Love, Utah State.
He played at Kaepernick, Nevada.
Boom. Nevada. All right, tight end, 100. Evan Ingram for the Broncos. Y'all, I've mentioned this school before. It was a wrong answer, but they played last night.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss it is. He was good. All right, Pops. Cole Kmet.
Notre Dame.
Thank you. 300. Cade Otton for the Bucks.
Was he Bama?
Cade Otton was not Bama. Maul, you got to guess?
Take a shot at Iowa.
Washington. Surprising. 400.
I was
Dallas
getting,
Goddard.
yeah, I was
for the
getting
Eagles.
confused with OJ Howard. He played at Bama, didn't he?
Yeah, O.J. Howard was Bama. I don't know Dallas Goddard.
Me neither.
South Dakota State.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him.
And finally, Isaiah Likely with the Ravens.
Oh, dude, I should know this one. I feel like I should know them all, but I don't have this one.
Yeah, I don't either.
This is, I don't know if y'all saw it. This year in college, they had free concessions if you just showed up to the game.
Oh, Coastal Carolina?
Coastal Carolina
No
it
way.
is.
Dang.
Yeah, I know. What a pull. Defense, Derwin James, safety for the Chargers.
See,
oh,
we should-
come on. Y'all
we
don't
should-
know this one?
We should have gone to stats, man.
I know.
It's Florida State. I can't. Y'all going to struggle with these then. Y'all know who Brian Young even is?
Well, since it's pronounced Byron, no, I don't.
All right, Tennessee. God.
Dude, we're looking
Dre
really
Greenlaw was the old linebacker for the Niners. Now he's playing with the Broncos. He was the guy that when he took the field tore his ACL or tore his Achilles running out against the Chiefs.
Man, you know I don't know defense.
South Carolina or Arkansas.
See, you got it wrong too, and you made these slides.
Yeah. Eric Armstead also played with the Niners.
Nope.
Oregon. Seattle. DeMarcus Lawrence. And if y'all remember, DeMarcus Lawrence used to play end for the Cowboys.
Was he a Clemson guy?
Boise State.
Wow.
Dude.
Big pull.
Obscure.
All right. Cameron Dicker. Kicker for the Chargers.
Texas, baby.
There you go. I knew at least somebody get one of the kickers. Matt Prater.
Dude, he started kicking.
These dudes have been kicking for 45 plus years, though, so.
Central Florida. Will Lutz, kicker for the Broncos.
Nope.
Yeah, I was hoping it was Will Reichard.
Georgia State.
Yeah, dude, nobody would have pulled that.
Pittsburgh kicker Chris Boswell.
Again, this dude's been kicking longer than I've been alive.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Rice.
Yeah, Rice. Powerhouse.
They're playing today.
They're losing today.
All right. Cam Little, the kicker
mean,
for the Jags.
If you would have asked who's got the longest kick in the NFL right now, I'd have this question, but where he went
Yeah.
to school, no.
Nope.
Arkansas. Y'all suck.
It's
All right. Well, I'll bring out for round one of the playoffs. I'll go stats. That way, we all feel better about ourselves at the end. But getting into it, Saturday we really have two playoff, honestly 3 playoff games, and I'll explain why with this first game. So first playoff game we have Panthers Bucks. It's a playoff game for the Panthers because if they win, they're in. The reason I didn't say the Bucks, if they win, they have a chance. Yes, the Falcons have to lose. That's the third playoff game. If the Falcons beat the Saints, it creates a three-way tie, Falcons, Bucks, Panthers, and the tie would go to the Panthers based upon common opponents and common records. So the Panthers can actually lose this game, have the Falcons win, and still get out in front of the division. My question for you guys is Tampa's -3. Last time they played was 2 weeks ago. The Panthers came out on top. Do you think it matters what happens with the Falcons game? Do the Panthers get the outright dub?
I think so.
You go ahead, Maul.
I just the Bucks over the last 3-4 weeks, their defense is just awful. I mean, awful. Like I think they tricked everybody by winning a bunch of games at the beginning of the season, and Baker was just playing out of his mind. But even with all that, like, remember, they were a bunch of, like, one-score games. They were making a big deal about it in, like, week 8 or something like that. That was, like, the first time Baker was able to, like, use the victory formation and take a knee because they were having to, like, come back and win in all these games. But because they won and the rest of the NFC South was, like, so, you know, nobody had any faith in any of those teams, I think it just fooled everybody, me included, that they were, like, still a decent team or, like, someone to be reckoned with. And Baker has just lost a little bit of the mojo that, you know, he was playing with at the beginning of the season. And the defense is just awful. So even if Baker is scoring, which they're not doing on every drive, their defense is letting up way too many yards, way too many points. And to be honest, I mean, the Panthers are kind of hot right now. Like, I mean, they've come off some good wins, and they've shown that they're, like, a quality football team that you have to game plan for. And I just don't see the Bucs stopping anybody.
Yeah, and I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, the other piece, too, that I don't think gets brought up a lot, I think it was the Monday night game when Baker threw out his shoulder. You know, and he has not, in my opinion, hasn't necessarily looked the same, you know, with that throwing shoulder issue. That's part of it. And then, you know, just like Maul said, and I've been saying it all season, is we saw the same exact thing out of the Bucs last year where they were fumbling down the stretch. Like, the whole rest of the season was able to squeak into the playoffs. And I think that luck's going to run out this year. Like, Panthers have nothing to lose. Like, let's be honest, they haven't been here. Nobody expects them to be here. You know, they're going to go out motivated, ready to play because they get the chance to go to the playoffs for the first time in, you know, probably a decade since, you know, the Cam Newton days, you know, so I personally think that the Panthers are going to walk away with this game.
The Bucs line has been hurt. Tristan Wirfs is supposed to be coming back and starting for him at tackle this week. I think that I'm taking the Bucs, and the reason I am taking the Bucs is I look at it from the standpoint of I can trust Baker to just even in the game against last time they played the Panthers. Yes, he threw a pick on the final drive, but it was like at no point have the Buccaneers ever been like completely just handled here lately. Like it's a close game. And if it's the opposite way with the Bucs are leading, do I trust the Panthers to make a comeback? No. I think the Panthers, yes, are going to, in agreement with Maul, have looked a lot better than the Bucs over the last few weeks. It's more just, what do I think is going to happen? I can see the Bucs winning, and then I can see the Falcons winning later.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we're going to talk about one thing, though, if the Falcons were playing for their own playoff spot, 100% they lose. But because they're playing to kick somebody else's, you know, kick somebody else out of the playoffs, they're going to beat the Saints.
Yeah. Which I think it would be hilarious for the Bucs to win, think they're in the playoffs, and then for the Falcons to just, like, throttle the Saints just to be like, nah, we hate Baker Mayfield.
And you mentioned it too. You don't think that they set up that game where the Bucs and the Panthers are playing on Saturday just to have that other one matter? Like, they absolutely did that on purpose.
Yeah, 100%. The only way it doesn't matter is if the Panthers win. Then the evening game, battle for the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs. Seattle versus the Niners at Candlestick. Surprisingly, the line -2.5 for Seattle. What do y'all think about that line?
I think, I mean, it makes sense that it's close in either direction. I could see either one because they're both playing really good football. This one, to me, I thought was interesting. And, you guys can kind of try to follow along on this one. It was like one of those, kind of like what we were talking about with the college football playoff of, I don't know if I want to be Seattle in the number 1 seed, or if the Niners, I can't remember how it is. If the Niners lose, I think they're in the 5th seed. But if the Seahawks lose, they're in the 6th seed, or maybe I have that reversed. But I was looking at it from like if you lose this game, you're probably playing the winner of Carolina and Tampa. Whereas, depending on which one's which, you might end up facing Philly or the winner of the Bears-Packers game, which I don't really want to face either one of them either. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is one of those where, like, I don't think they would, but you almost think like 2 games ahead and going like, if we lose, what seed are we and who do we end up playing, versus if we win, we might have a tougher road just based on the way the seedings are, because the NFC is uber competitive. And we talked about this in text. Like, I don't trust, or I trust almost everybody in the NFC minus whoever comes out of the South could potentially win it all.
So if the Seattle loses, they will fall to the 5th seed regardless of any other outcome. If the Niners lose, then the Rams beat the Cardinals on Sunday afternoon. LA would slide in the 5th place and the Niners would drop to 6. So if LA loses to the Cardinals, the Niners would be at 5th. So one of the teams is either going to 5th or 6th. Seattle would for sure be the 6th seed. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, and I think for me, after watching that whole entire game last week with the Bears and the 49ers, like, the one thing that the Seahawks have that the Bears don't is a defense. And so, like, for me, yeah, Purdy was able to take care of the ball. He's been able to do that. I mean, they're, I think, undefeated since he's come back, but it's still one of those things, like, I think putting him up against a tougher defense that's going to be able to play a little bit harder and actually get home to him, I think Seahawks are going to take the advantage, because that defense for the 49ers is awful. Like, it gave me a lot of motivation with the Bears offense, but beyond that, like, giving up, 38 points to the Bears, like, they're not going to be able to do that against the Seahawks.
I think the Bears offense is more explosive than Seattle.
Well, for sure.
Now, don't get me wrong, Seattle's explosive with JSN, but Bears have way more talent across the board, especially at the position of wide receiver, than Seattle does. The thing that gives me pause for the Niners is, if they win, they can literally stay at home throughout the Super Bowl. Super Bowl's at San Francisco. Like, that'd be my motivation. Like, that's what if I was Shanahan, I'm like, hey, if you win, you never have to leave San Francisco. You drive to work for everything. Mm-hmm. That may not make a difference to those guys, but
that would be incredible. The thing that gives me pause with the Seahawks is I've been a Darnold fan since the beginning, even when he wasn't doing well and was on terrible teams. But they only put up, I think, field goals against the Colts like 2 weeks ago. And that was like Phillip Rivers' first game back, and he almost won it for him. So the Seahawks have shown, and, Darnold kind of has a stigma about, right as we get around the playoffs, all of a sudden everything he's done all season, he forgets how to do. And that's kind of my big thing. The Niners' D is their weak spot, but Purdy has been playing out of his mind, and at the end of the day, they still have CMC.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I've got the Niners. CMC to me is he's been the entire offense for the Niners. I mean, Purdy's played well, but he's just, wherever you put CMC, like against the Bears, like he ran out in the flat, or not even in the flat, just ran up. The linebacker just stood there like, I wasn't expecting this type of test this early in this game, and just got left in the dust, and CMC just walked in.
And
like,
they did that all game. Yeah.
Yeah. Which he is. Like, if you watch him, which a lot of guys have said it, I think it was Luke Kuechly was talking about it. They were like, when did you know CMC was special? And he's like, anytime that guy is left one-on-one with anyone,
good luck.
He's going to win.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, no one can tackle that dude one-on-one. like you need an army to get him down. All right, then going on Sunday, Saints, Falcons. Falcons right now -3.5. I'm guessing, Maul, you think they're going to come out and look like the Falcons of old and put the game away like the New England Patriots?
I mean, I think they will, just because the Falcons are the quintessential play to your opponent's level type of team. They always play. Shuck has been playing decently as of late, given what he's been given. I still just don't think the Saints are a good football team. And again, I already said it. Like, if the Falcons were playing for their own playoff berth, they choke 100%. But because it's just to take away a division of rivals' playoff hopes, they'll get it done.
Now, our buddy Slam sent me this text during the Monday night game, and it's true. I just want to reiterate this because you said play to their level of competition, and I think this means it more than anything. The Birds know how to blow a lead better than anyone. Like, they're killing the Rams. Killing them. Like, shouldn't have been in game, and then before you know it, Rams right back into it. Like, I sent him a text back that was just like, he's a Dolphins fan. And I was like, at least you know we're either going to win or we're going to get murdered. No two ways about it. The Falcons, you could be winning 25 points up in a Super Bowl with 3 minutes to go in the third and be like, we're taking this home. And ever since that game, no win safe. Like, they could be blowing out the Saints 21-0 going into the fourth quarter. And you're just like, not till them zeros read across the board am I going to trust anything.
Every team has like inconsistencies like left and right throughout the season of like, hey, we've had some good games, we've had some bad games. Like the Falcons will have seasons worth of inconsistencies just in one game. And like that, it's baffling to me every time.
You think they fire Raheem Morris, their head coach? Or do you think the Rams game and some of the games here late have done enough to save his job?
I mean, I don't think they do, because honestly, like, I don't know what kind of real expectations they had. And at the end of the day, like, if they win, they're going to end up with the same record as the guys who are winning their division. You know what I mean? So it's like they're not that far out of it. So I think firing him would be a mistake.
Yeah, I think if they would have kept losing throughout the back half of the season, for sure. But, yeah I think he's kept it.
And since Black Monday is coming up, where the NFL's known for firing head coaches, I'll just skip ahead. Which guys do you think are in the hot seat?
I really like this week. I think if the Steelers beat the Ravens, like call me crazy, but I mean Harbaugh has struggled tremendously, here as of late. And
what about on the opposite side?
Well, and that's the thing too, man. It's just like, do you turn over the regime that they've had for so long? And it's like, we've been loyal to you. We're just, again, everybody calls it being 500 every year, being somewhere in the middle of the draft. Like, it's just not producing what we need to produce anymore. And yeah, I mean, I can see both sides of the street, and I mean, it's justified. You're not necessarily winning the division. You're barely squeaking into the playoffs, and then you lose in the first round. Like, we need more than that after 20 years.
What about from the next two? The game next, Browns Bengals. Either one of those head coaches on the chopping block.
Dude, I think you get rid of Stefanski, and Taylor. For all that it matters. But
the only thing with Taylor, I would say Taylor's on the hot seat. The only thing, Burrow getting injured is like his get out of jail free excuse card of just like, well, I didn't have a full. Look how good we did when Burrow came back. So like, he can maybe try to play that and get himself another year kind of deal. But, yeah, I think Taylor is, at least coming on the hot seat probably next. Really, anyone in New York is, like, always on the hot seat, right? I mean, like, those dudes are always on the hot seat. So even if they just hired him, that's what those teams do. So that one's always up in the air.
Also, as we said, for when Aaron Glenn took that job, it is, if I was a coach, that's the I would rather go to college and take a 10-year deal that I know if I get fired in, I get guaranteed payout for life, than ever go to the Giants or the Jets. I think the Giants is the better job of Jackson Dart and Malik Neighbors and Scattaboo, and you do have some promise on the defense. I think that you're just having to put up with Giant fans. It's like, it's honestly like the Eagles fans. You're just not winning unless you're winning the Super Bowl every year. And even like Eli, it's like you beat one of the greatest quarterback ever twice, and still they're like, bench him after 3 picks. There's no pleasing those fans.
I think the hottest hot seat is probably Mike McDaniel, honestly, though.
Do you think they get rid of Tua and him? Or
Yes.
do you think that if they got rid of Tua, they give him another year?
They might, but they should get rid of him. Because
Did you see the news on Troy Aikman?
no.
They hired him as their like advisor to go find a new GM.
The Dolphins did?
Yes.
Mm.
Which here's the thing. I sort of think that's a good idea because Troy has gotten to go for the past decade to every single organization and like talk. So I think from like an organization standpoint, Troy's at least gonna be like, look, and he played on three Super Bowl winning teams. Yeah, 3 winning teams. He knows what a good organization looks like. He knows what's in dysfunction, what's not. So I think that when they're like, hey, what do you think about this guy? He's going to be like, dude, the Raiders are an absolute dumpster fire. Don't hire anyone from there. Like, if they had any idea of what they were doing, they would have figured it out by now. He at least can point them, and I think it helps. But back to the Browns-Bengals, I know that it doesn't matter. Shador or Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow.
That's who you give him the victory to?
That's who I think,
Yeah.
anyways.
Oh, yeah.
We said it last time, my little conspiracy theory for the Lions. Did you see how the Bengals have said what it would take to get Joe Burrow? They said out loud.
No, I didn't see it.
They said it would take a Ricky Williams type of draft thing for them to give up Burrow. Which, if I was the Lions, I would 1,000% give every one of my picks up to go get Joe Burrow and send them Jared Goff
Oh, for sure.
in a heartbeat. Wouldn't even be a question. Packers, Vikings, Pops. ISIS can't win the game, so who are you taking?
Yeah, dude. Realistically, I think the Packers are going to win. You know, Jordan Love's got to play to get ready for the playoffs. Like, and the Vikings have been abysmal. Like they've had a decent defense, but obviously we've seen the struggles all year at the quarterback position, and I just don't see them being able to overcome the Packers defense. You know, so I've got the Packers. Even if Malik Willis was to somehow play.
Who's playing quarterback for the Packers?
Well, I think
right now I'm looking at it showing Clayton Tune.
Really? So they're not even playing.
I don't know. I don't know the news. I'm just looking at like
Love should have been out of protocol by now.
But are they resting him?
Like, I mean,
And like what's wrong with Malik Willis?
Malik Willis. That's right. Malik Willis got hurt last week.
Yeah.
He dislocated his shoulder.
Says he was limited in practice.
Okay.
They got Clayton Tune right now versus Max Brosmer,
Yeah, because he went out holding his shoulder last game.
which the Vikings are like 8.5-point favorites, which makes me think like that's the news. That's what's going on there.
But even then, man, it's like, what is Brosmer going to do? You know, as your third string.
You say that, but they beat the Lions.
True.
Like,
And like again, I haven't been super convinced with the Packers most of the season. Like they'll have good games where you're like, yeah, they can do it. But then they'll also have games where you're like, man, what is going on with these dudes? Like Jacobs is banged up. I don't know, man. If Clayton Tune is starting, there's no chance I'm taking the Packers.
100%.
I'm taking the Vikings. Here's the other question. Did Willis not look better than Love in the 2 games he came in?
100%,
Absolutely.
Like, he seized his opportunity. You know, and
Yeah,
he got
100%.
he got crapped on coming out of Liberty, going to Tennessee, and we're just like, this guy sucks. And then it's like, no, dude, he's actually a pretty decent player once he puts some time into it.
So after he had that good game, NFL memes, I'm not sure if you saw it. They were like, just to go back in time, just think about the fact that the Titans had Mike Vrabel, Willis, Henry, and A.J. Brown, and we're like, nah, we're good, and moved on from all 4.
Yeah.
Like, sums up the Titans.
Dude, so I saw something the other day. Actually, it was earlier today. I think McAfee was talking about it. Like, could you imagine if you put Malik Willis with the Falcons? Like, he takes care of the ball. He makes pretty decent throws. You know, like the 2 games that he's seen. Now, granted, we've had a very small sample size, but, you know, give him Bijan, give him Drake London. You know, like if Penix doesn't work out, like at least you get a cheap veteran per se, even though he's only been in the league for about 3 seasons.
I don't hate it. I always just go back to Falcons could have had Lamar.
Yeah.
Like, that was the correct answer for the Falcons, and they chose not to do that. Next game up, Cowboys-Giants. Dallas right now -3.5. I think that shows that Dak and everybody's going to play.
Yeah.
Jerry's got to be able to pay for his new yacht, so they got to get fans to come to the last game, even though they're out. Any chance Giants pull it off?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Like you said, I think the Cowboys kind of are playing for like a little bit of pride right now. Like they've kind of just – it's been a disappointing season for them, you know, like the last 25 seasons have been. But for whatever reason, it does feel like they're kind of playing with a little bit of like they're trying to still prove a point or, you know, work some demons out or something. I don't know what it is, but it does feel like they're going to come out and it's all, you know, especially it's a division rival too. They're going to come out and try to lay the wood.
We'll go rapid fire for the next few, and then we'll talk a little bit about playoffs. Titans-Jags.
Jags. They're still trying to play for seeding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The AFC is, I would go through it, but it'd take the next 30 minutes. The Jags can still win the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Jags.
Colts-Texans.
So I texted you guys this just so everybody has clarity. I'm actually going to swap my pick because I said, give me the Colts. C.J. Stroud will choke with Indy's defense, but then I saw that they're starting Riley Leonard this week, so I'm swapping my pick here on the air, going with the Texans.
Yeah, I don't like what I've seen out of C.J. Stroud, but that defense is just too good, man. Like, especially against a guy that's like trying to get his footing underneath him, hasn't played a lot of games. Like that defense is just too overwhelming.
I got the Texans as well. Jets-Bills.
I had the Bills.
Same.
Bills can still win the AFC if – nope, sorry. They lost that when Allen missed a wide-open wide receiver and going for 2.
Hate to see it.
Womp womp. Yeah, that sucked. For as good as they played. Lions-Bears.
I mean, do you even have to ask me?
All right, Pop's going with the Lions.
So
I got the Bears though too.
Here's my thing. I texted this with you guys. I was like, because I didn't think I'd make this episode if you guys shot it yesterday. But the Bears got to have it. Like, you can't go into the playoffs losing 2 straight games. Like, the Bears need this is a good opportunity. Obviously, the Lions were on the bubble the entire season. Like, this is a good test. Before you go into the playoffs.
I agree, because if I'm the Bears, I want to win, because I honestly would love to play the Packers again. I would rather play them than if they lose, they drop to the 5, and then you're possibly either playing the Niners, the Seattle, Eagles. Like, you don't know what team you're going to get, but I'd rather play the Packers.
Yeah.
I'd rather get a home game against the Pack.
I'm looking at it right now. Rome is still questionable. Moving into this week, he did practice, but still up as questionable. And that's the thing. Like the last month, we've been playing without him. Burden was out for a little bit, so I mean, we've been hurt where we've been the strongest suit outside the run game, and they're coming back. And we've always talked about how questionable the Lions secondary is. Like, if Caleb can just get around Aiden Hutchinson, like I think he'll be able to put up some pretty good numbers. And if he puts up 270 this next game, he gets 4,000 yards for the Bears. Give it. Come on.
He's going to get 269, and y'all are going to go another year. That game comes down to, can y'all pressure Jared Goff? If y'all pressure him, y'all win the game, no problem.
I mean, the good news is he can't run as fast as Brock Purdy, so hopefully. The only thing is that you have Amon-Ra and you got Jameson Williams. I mean,
and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're pretty much a similar set to what you had with the 49ers last week.
Chargers, Broncos. Broncos minus 12.5.
I put Broncos.
Yeah, they're resting Herbert, aren't they?
It's Trey Lance.
Trey
starting.
Lance.
Is that who you're going to go with?
No.
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 I watched that happen in the preseason. Wasn't pretty. Chiefs Raiders for the, almost this is the insane asylum for two fan bases. Who's hurt more?
Listen, I feel like this is a good segue from like playoff to MVP discussion, and
If you say somebody on one of these two teams, I might have you put in a mental hospital.
I was gonna say Geno Smith should be the MVP because without him, they'd be getting the number one pick. But I'm saying with him, I guess is it's they don't even know how to like lose. I don't know. I'm trying to make a bad joke, but the Raiders would do something like beat the Chiefs right here at the end and like screw up somehow their number one pick. Give me the Chiefs though.
Yeah, I think if this is really Kelsey's last game, I think we're going to see a lot of Kelsey targets. And I also got the Chiefs. I don't like that they're on a third string quarterback, but the Raiders have shown absolutely nothing pretty much all season.
I'll ask you, Maul, first. Did they fire Pete Carroll?
Too soon.
I don't think so. Yeah, it's one season in. It's just they didn't even get a quarterback. They brought in Geno just because of the connection there. They got to give him time if they want to dig out of this hole at all.
You say that, but you know who they're going to get in the draft? Carson Beck. Name another guy they're going to go get.
Is Fernando Mendoza not coming out?
Yeah, he's going to go to the Jets because they ain't getting the number one pick. Cardinals, Rams.
Rams.
Oh, I thought it was like Pops going
Sorry.
Cardinals.
No.
Man, goodness.
Give me the Rams.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams. Dolphins, Patriots.
Patriots.
I still think it's the Pats because we talked about it. Like the AFC, nobody can just sit back and rest. Like they can, but I don't think anybody wants to. Like they're still trying to get home field advantage and the number one seed and all that stuff.
Eagles are resting their starters. Commanders, Eagles.
Who's starting for the Eagles?
Let me look.
Because, I mean, even then, like, the Commanders haven't put together a full football game, I feel like, almost all season. It's been very spotty. And
Yeah.
how long are they resting? Like, the whole game? They're sitting their whole team the whole game?
Yes. Tanner McKee is the projected starter for the Eagles.
Hey, give me the Commanders.
Josh Johnson?
See, I like the Eagles still. Like,
And
The
the
Commanders
other
are
part,
just-
too, is if the Commanders lose, it just helps them in the draft as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Why
at this
win?
point, you're correct.
It helps you none. Then the third playoff game. Sunday night, Ravens at Steelers. Baltimore right now 3.5. They're saying Lamar may play. Henry came off the huge game, just ran all over. I mean, 200 yards rushing. What are y'all thoughts of the game?
Hear me out. And I said this early on in the season, but it almost is like proving my point now. I talked about how the Ravens felt like they were doing too much with Lamar, or like not calling the right play calls, or trying to do things to just get Lamar stats to like boost his MVP odds. Remember me saying that
Yeah.
a few weeks back? It's going to sound crazy, and I don't like truly believe it at face value, but these last few weeks have kind of proved it, of like the Ravens are almost better when Lamar is not playing,
Yeah.
which sounds insane. And it's not true from like face value. But when they don't have Lamar, they have a very clear identity of like, we're running the ball with the most biggest dude on the field and no one can stop it. And then every once in a while, we're throwing a play action, it's going to screw you up, and we got dudes downfield that are going to catch the ball. Like, they have a very clear identity, and they played very good football. But for whatever reason, when Lamar's on the field, I don't know if it's they think they can do XYZ or they're trying to force XYZ again to like get Lamar stats, or I don't know what the root cause is, but I was watching these games these last few weeks and I'm like, where was this Ravens team all season? Like the one we thought was going to win the Super Bowl. And you're like, oh, it's because they don't have Lamar and they're doing exactly what they should be doing, which is feeding Derrick Henry the rock.
Pops?
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. Like I told you, I think it was on the last episode where we talked about, what my neighbor said. Like, feel like they've been punished, Derrick Henry from the 2 fumbles early on the first game of the season. Because it's just like that's the one guy that's going to open up everything for you. Why would you not give him the ball? And like just watching them, like they're not running the option as much anymore as they did with year 1 with Henry. Like, why would you get away from that?
You said open up the offense. I'll talk about closing an offense. The bigger story behind this game happened not last week, but the week before.
No DK.
Yes, dude. They would have beat the Browns if they had DK.
100%.
Him not being there, like, highlighted the fact, which I go back, this is like my thing to fire Tomlin, which I agree with, of getting rid of him. They knew going into the season, we need a number 2 wide receiver. And they never trade it. They didn't do anything to fix that problem. And now it's highlighted even more because with DK out, you're like, we don't have anyone.
Yeah.
Like
their best number 2 is Kenneth Gainwell out of the backfield.
Yes. He was sitting there throwing up to MVS. And you're just like, dude, this dude is 5 years past his prime. It's over. Like, I think as long as what Maul talked about, the Ravens come out and just go, we're running with Derrick Henry. If they stop us, they stop us. They shouldn't have any. The Steelers could only put up 6 against the Browns. 2 field goals. Like, they could not score. Like, I think the Ravens kill the Steelers.
Well, and the other part too, I don't know if Darnell Washington's going to play because he left the
broke his arm.
Yeah, exactly. He left the Browns game hurt. So I mean that took away another weapon that Aaron had. So they have nobody on that offense really.
Is this Aaron's last year if they lose?
I think so. I mean, it's kind of seemed already like it was a going away party, but I mean that dude, nobody can read that dude's mind. He's such a, like they called it on the series, an enigma. Like you can't crack the code.
Who y'all have for the game?
I'm taking the Ravens.
All right, so Steelers are winning somehow. Because all 3 of us think the Ravens. Well, that wraps up this week. I'll just go in a little. Since we don't know matchups, I'll give theoreticals based upon where the standings are right now. So where the standings are, the Broncos would get a bye. It put the Patriots against the Bills. Who would y'all have in that playoff game at New England?
This leads into the bigger question of like, I don't trust hardly anybody out of the AFC. Like, they all have really good talent. Like, I think the Bills, when they play their best football, they can beat anybody. They've shown it. The problem is, it's just they have a really hard time consistently playing their best football.
I think it's because when you say the best, the thing that immediately comes to my mind is that Josh Allen has to be Superman.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
everything falls back on him to win the game because they're not good enough defensively. They have James Cook, and if James Cook can offset Superman and just, be that guy to give him a little relief, it helps. But they still have to find a way to like win every game. Them two, especially just because the defense isn't there. So I don't think the Patriots blowing a 21-point lead is going to happen again.
Yeah.
In Foxborough. That's just me.
The one thing that would be kind of a playmaker for me, or a game time decision, is Stephon Diggs going to play? Like, he's able to play this week, but I don't know if more stuff starts coming out if he's going to be available for the playoffs with all the legal stuff going on the outside. That would be, for me, is like that's taking away another weapon from Drake May. And yeah, like if the Patriots get up again, you would surely think that they would not be able to blow another lead like that. But you don't know with Josh Allen. Like that's the problem. We haven't seen a bad game out of Josh Allen. For the last couple of weeks. That would be like the one thing that would be holding me back is that he tries doing too much because now he knows it's the playoffs and he makes the mistakes that he doesn't make during the regular season.
So for the Bills, I would say that it's probably best if they do play the Patriots round 1, just because either they lose outright or like if they're not consistent enough to put together those good games. And I think the Patriots are probably the best team. Like, I'm not super sold on the Broncos. I'm not real sold on the Chargers just due to their injuries. Like, there's not a lot of teams in the AFC that I really think can get it done outside of the Patriots. You know, of course, I think the Bills could get it done. They're just inconsistent. So if they play the Patriots first round and can get by them, I think they can get away with some mistakes down the road to still make it. Whereas if they don't play the Patriots round 1 and they're kind of making mistakes, I don't think they're going to get past the Patriots in whatever round they face them outside of round 1.
You know what team?
My favorite, exactly, which I was about to lead in with. The team that I think is the best team in the AFC playoff race,
Jaguars.
The Jags, would end up playing the Chargers, which is a rematch from a few years ago, if y'all remember, when the Chargers got up huge and then blew the game in Jacksonville. Yeah. So be a rematch. I think a lot. I know NFL teams changed now. That was still under that was not under Harbaugh. That was different.
Yeah,
that was that
Staley.
old Staley. So who would y'all have in this game?
I think the Jags. I think the O-line is too beat up for the Chargers, and that defense.
That's the answer.
That defense of the Jags is pretty good. You know, despite yes, we've seen really good play out of Trevor Lawrence. There's still a lot of question marks because he's only got two playoff games under his belt. But that Jags defense would destroy the Chargers O-line.
Same. Then here's the last game. Does it matter who the Texans play? They're either going to play the Steelers or the Ravens. I'll let you guys answer for either scenario.
Yeah, absolutely, it matters. Like, if they play the Steelers, I think they match up really, really well because they'll get DK back in the playoffs. But again, the Texans' defense is suffocating. Their offense is really, really hit or miss. But I don't want to go up against Derrick Henry in the playoffs.
I agree.
Same.
I think the Ravens could easily beat the Texans, mainly because I love the Texans' defense. What I don't love is their offense.
Yeah,
they're way too inconsistent.
The thing we're not talking about, though, is playoff Lamar. You know?
That only shows up in AFC championship games.
That's fair.
This is first round. All right, then NFC. Right now, it's Seattle is in the driver's seat. So we're just going to go with that for the time being. It'd be Bears-Packers, 2 versus 7. Pops already know the Bears. Maul, do you want to hurt Pop's feelings?
I mean, I don't. But I won't either. So, I haven't been sold on the Packers all year. They're starting to kind of get banged up right at the wrong time. I mean, leave it to the Bears, but I would still take the Bears in this future matchup.
And you know what? I would like to say something in there. All right. I've said it the last couple of weeks. The playoffs were my expectation for this season. So, anything extra at this point is just the cherry on top to Ben Johnson's first year. What I do see is the future, and it's just dude, we fix this defense, watch out.
I think the Bears in this playoff have the ability to play with anyone if they're playing, if Caleb's throwing how he has been the last few weeks.
And that's the thing. It has to be the offense can't stall out like it had been doing. That's why we got so many fourth quarter comebacks, because we couldn't score the first half. It's just if we were scoring in the first half like we were against the 49ers, put us up against anybody.
This would be the playoff game everyone would tune into. It'd be Eagles-Rams. Rematch of last year in Philly again.
Dude, if we saw Matt Stafford against the Falcons, I'd give it to the Eagles. But I think that's just an anomaly. Like, those games are going to happen out of anybody. I mean, he was missing throws. He had a corner route wide open.
Atwell wide open.
Correct.
Yeah.
And he missed it. So like, I think he just had an off night. Like, I'm taking the Rams.
So the Eagles to me are like the best team on paper. Like, they have the ability, this like the Bills, where if they show up and play like they should, like when you see their team, they should beat everybody hands down. They are not able to. The offense has been very, very inconsistent, if not straight up bad.
Terrible.
At some points. The Rams didn't have Devontae in that Falcons game, and that, just like we talked about with DK and Aaron Rodgers, like when Puka doesn't have that opposite guy that's another threat that they have to worry about, it affects them. And Stafford has had a few of these games, but like he's still also had an MVP level season. So if they can show up, everybody's healthy and play, I will pick the Rams. But I also wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles finally show up all together and win, because they should on paper.
I think I think I was going to go in the opposite route of that. Is like, this is where the actual play calling gets exposed, and they get bounced against a team that's so well coached. I mean, the Rams just fired their special teams coordinator, at the end of the season. Sean McVay didn't like it. He's like, "You're done," and like they ended up getting a blocked field goal for a touchdown. So I personally think the Rams are better coached than the Eagles.
The Eagles' defense has been playing lights out last few weeks. That's the only. I'm with Maul. Like, on paper, the Eagles should repeat as Super Bowl champions. It all comes down to their offense, which I sort of go back to this Derrick Henry thing. Now's the time. Rest your starters. You go into first round of the playoffs, and it's called, I'm going to give the ball to Saquon until Saquon goes, hey, give me a break, and then I'll find A.J. Brown or Dallas Goedert. And then when he comes back in, I go, you ready to tote the rock? Yep, tote the rock. Like, that's my answer for the Eagles.
But they haven't been. Like, that's the one thing on paper all season. They have not been doing that.
I know.
Agreed. That's the problem. That's the problem, though. That's why they're not undefeated.
Exactly.
Then the last game would be the winner of Tampa, Carolina playing the Niners. Any chance either one of them could beat the Niners?
No.
Same. The Niners going to murder whoever they end up. If the Niners don't win this game and end up playing an NFC, whoever plays an NFC South team is like, thank God we're getting that. Like,
which,
unless it's the Rams. The Rams are going to be like, yo, this has been our kryptonite all year. Is playing
yeah,
NFC
no
South.
kidding. Didn't you say if the
Buc-
Bears lose, they'll be the 5 seed?
Yes.
Which,
It almost
again,
benefits the Bears to lose.
I know. Like, if Pops, I'm cool if the Bears lose in this situation. I know you want to win, shove it down NFC North's throat and like really own it. But if you don't, it's not the worst thing that could happen.
For sure.
So, from the Bears' position, verbatim, Chicago, if the Bears lose or tie versus the Lions this weekend and the Eagles beat the Commanders, then Chicago and Philly would swap spots. So actually Chicago would go to the 3 seed and would end up in that scenario.
Oh, yeah, they can't go to 5th because they've already won the
division.
They're going to be 1 through 4, yeah.
So they're either going to play they need to win, because they're going to play the Packers. If they go to the number 3, they're either going to play the Rams, Niners. They're playing someone from the NFC West.
That makes sense. I would rather win, especially because, like you said, you don't want to drop 2 going into the playoffs. You got this bad momentum. You want to win having that going into the playoffs.
And also, I think the funniest part too is that if we lost the game, we would have a losing record in the division. We'd be 2-4 in the division.
Wow.
Yeah, because we split with Green Bay. We split with the Vikings. And then we lost the first one to the Lions. So we're 2-3 right now in the division, but we're the division champs.
Well, I'm not going to go beyond that because all that's hypothetical. We'll wait till the real playoff. After this week, we'll have real playoff rankings. We'll go through playoffs, predict Super Bowl champs from that point going forward. But that wraps up Week 18. A little playoff prediction just based upon the current rankings. Y'all got anything else?
Y'all want to talk MVP at all, or hypothetical here?
Dude, I feel like it's in between Drake May and Matt Stafford.
I agree. That's kind of what the
Polling
consensus is.
Yeah.
Do you think do you think you should be able to, and do you think it's possible to be an MVP on a losing team?
I mean, it should be. You know,
Should be possible.
Yeah, like I mean, if you played, you're the only reason why that team did anything all season, and you put up incredible stats. I mean, you
AKA like a last year's Joe Burrow.
Yes, exactly.
I bring it up because I was watching First Take a couple, I don't know, might have been a week or so ago, and you know, sometimes they just throw things out there just to have like debates on TV. Greeny was taking, I think, Drake May. Orton took Stafford, and they were going back and forth. And then Cam Newton got on and threw out Myles Garrett, which, don't get me wrong, Myles Garrett has had a fantastic season, but Dano like just completely ripped them apart about if, you know, your team, like your play as the MVP needs to translate to wins. And like if you can't do that, you're not deserving of the MVP, which I don't necessarily disagree with him, but then you almost kind of go, okay, then so really only like quarterbacks and maybe a running back or two could ever win the MVP.
Yeah.
Which I don't like that in like a finality kind of decision. I just don't think we've seen a defensive player really have that kind of season, in recent years.
As Dutch is Googling when the last losing record won.
No,
MVP.
I was Googling because my immediate slap back to Orlovsky losing his mind had been like, in 1982, a kicker won NFL MVP. It's true.
Did not know
Like,
that.
yeah.
Wasn't it
During
the
the strike
season? The
season.
strike, yeah.
But still, it's like, don't sit back and tell me about why some dude can't win it when a kicker's won. Jerry Rice played that year. I don't want to hear about some kicker from Washington winning. The thing that when I hear Drake May, don't get me wrong, Patriots have done well. Not because Pops is on the episode. If you're going to tell me Drake May, then it should be Caleb Williams. Because without Caleb Williams, the Bears ain't winning.
Yeah.
Like, the Bears have been trash for years. Why? Because of quarterback. Like, now, granted, he gets a great offensive mind in Ben Johnson, and it pairs well. You can't, I feel so justified with don't get me wrong, we miss all the time. I was 1 for 4.
Last night.
On last night. Now I voted with my heart for Bama. If you had made me put money on it, it would have been Indiana. Like, you gun to my head, got to risk the mortgage. I've been like Indiana on the money line. Like, that's where it would have been. I would have lost the Ohio State one straight out in the Texas Tech, but I would have told you Indiana was going to win. We knew Caleb Williams had an arm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of us said, dude, you can't watch USC play and not be like, especially on the run. Like, he did that at USC. Like, I've played that position. I can't tell you how hard it is to be accurate and then have the velocity he has on the run. And my man is throwing just heat-seeking missiles. Dude, Josh Allen, that was not a hard throw.
When the arc on his ball is like this,
yes,
and it goes 50 yards, 10 feet off the ground, and it never leaves that. Like, gravity can't affect it. Yeah, dude.
Dude, he is special. Like, super. Like, I have a lot of faith in the Bears. Like, the Bears to me are just this team that I think that they are way better suited than the Bills to win. Like, they have a lot of good pieces. The Bills, like, when you think about the Bills offense, it's James Cook, Josh Allen. Like, when your best receiver is a debate between Shakir and Brandon Cooks, who, as we all pointed out, is like 20 years old. 20 years in the league, you got problems. Like, the Bears have an offense that you're like, dude, when healthy, and you got Luther, Rome, DJ's really the questionable guy out of everyone on the offense. Dude, it's lethal. Like, who other offense are you stacking up against that? Like, I'm not taking the Rams. Like, I get that they have Puka and Stafford, but, like, Devontae's old. Like, if the Bears come out swinging, the Bears have the best offense in the playoffs. Am I wrong on that?
I would
on
say
paper.
Rams
On
are
paper.
pretty
on paper, sure.
Maybe the Eagles on paper, but the problem is at no point has Jalen Hurts ever thrown the ball like Caleb Williams. Jalen's biggest asset is when he runs. And the tush push, which has been,
Stop.
as we talked about this year, dude, they have gone away from it because it kills them with the false starts.
Yep.
Like, it is which it's great. That's the whole point. It's like, it is a weapon when you can do it legally. And the only thing that they needed to do was just actually call false starts. And when they started doing it's no longer, like, we won't hear anything about the tush push being banned this year. Why? Because it's not as effective. Because they finally started calling it as they should have. Like, that was it. That's what it came down to.
My big thing with Drake May, he don't get me wrong. Again, he's had a fantastic season, and I don't think any one of us really had any faith that he was going to translate well in the NFL. He has had a fantastic season this year, breakout type season. My biggest thing though with Drake May is when you start talking like, well, what has he done? What's like the first stat they always want to bring up?
Wins?
Accuracy. Like, his completion percentage. And to me, I'm just like, I don't care about that. You know what I mean? Like, is it important? Yeah, sure. Like, you got to complete passes for, in order to do it. But like, I don't care what the percentage is if he's not making super critical throws or like throwing a ton of touchdowns. It felt very like Travis Hunter played a lot of plays, wins the Heisman type of deal. And again, and I'm not like devaluing Drake May's season and what he's done with the Pats, because again, they were terrible. I think we all had him picked like third place in the division this year, and they're killing it. So again, he's doing really well. But again, it's just like, I don't know if the stats are necessarily there, or like if he's doing exactly what he needs to do with a very well coached team and good players around him in a poor division that's making him just seem a little more elevated than what he's really doing.
Well, and that's the other part too. If we went straight to that completion percentage statistic and took that out the window, Caleb's in that conversation, because if you watch a Bears game, Caleb doesn't run as much as I would want him to. Like, he will stay behind the line of scrimmage so that he can sling it, and 9 times out of 10 he throws it out of bounds, or he dirts it, or throws it at the receiver's feet. Like that's what Caleb ends up doing, and so that's why he's throwing 60% on the year, is because 15% of his throws out of the 35 he throws a game, he puts them in the dirt. And that's just the thing. Caleb, he makes the throws he needs to throw, especially down the stretch. Beginning of the year, there were definitely question marks, but he's on it, now. But his completion percentage is trash because he tries to keep the play alive.
Yeah, and so they did this thing the other day. I can't remember what I was watching, but it was like only 2 other quarterbacks in history had a completion percentage as high, and I can't remember. There was like some other stat that they did along with it. And it's one of those, like, if it was Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, those are the only other 2 quarterbacks, you'd be like, all right, that's some like elite company.
Yeah.
But the 2 guys they pulled up were, like Willie Mustache Johnson from 1920 and like some other dude from like the 50s. And it was like, okay, so got it. Those don't matter because nobody knows who those guys are. Like that was almost proving my point of like, I don't want to say completion percentage doesn't matter, but like you can't just use that as like he's the most accurate quarterback in history. Mm-hmm. Give him the MVP. I disagree with that.
Yeah, no.
I think
I don't have a problem going with Miles. The issue is this is nothing against Miles. If you're going to give Miles that trophy, then you got to go back in time and give JJ Watt his.
See, that's I do have a problem giving Miles the MVP. and not because he hasn't had a fantastic season and almost broke the record, but even just this game against the Steelers is just like you can game plan Miles out of the game. Like you couldn't game plan Aaron Donald out of the game. You couldn't game plan J.J. Watt out of the game. And Myles Garrett is right on that same level with how dominant he's playing, but teams have been able, because he hasn't gotten a sack in 3 weeks now, like they're game planning him out of the game and he's not making an impact.
So the next question is, does he get it this week against Burrow? Because he only needs 0.5.
Yeah, he only needs half sack. He should, because the Bengals are awful.
The better question is will Burrow do a Favre and take a flop?
Will he let him? Yeah, I don't know.
I doubt it.
I bet if Miles is like, I'll buy you a T-Rex skull, he'll be like, my man, I'll lay down right here.
You know how much the Browns are paying me? I'm going to split it.
The Miles thing also makes me mad because he's like complained about how they were not good this year, and I wanted to be like, well, why'd you take the money?
Exactly.
You knew what you were getting into. Like, at no point did I sign up and pay stupid money in the carnival to not see some dumb stuff. Like, you knew what you were getting into. Like, hey, man, this roller coaster may fall apart. It got troded here on this 18-wheeler that this dude who put it together is probably on meth. You're taking your own lives in your hands when you get on this Ferris wheel. Like,
you haven't seen that meme where it's like the Browns general manager and he's like, hey, we're going to draft a quarterback. And then a few rounds later, we're going to draft another quarterback. And then we're not going to start either one of those quarterbacks. We're going to start a quarterback that's 40 years old. He's going to win us some games, but you know what? We're going to trade that quarterback. And then it's like Myles Garrett on the other line. He's like, you know what? I'm in.
Dude, I have zero sympathy for it. But, all right, well, outside of that, anything else?
Do you guys?
That's it.
I saw this last night, and I just want to ask because it's fresh in my mind. Do you know the only coach who has more rushing yards than Bo Jackson?
I saw it. I saw it
Yeah.
too, so I won't ruin it.
It's got to be Harbaugh.
There it is. All right, yeah, you got it. So, like, they were asking all the other NFL coaches, and they just all drew blanks. Like, even John. John was like, and then once he found out, he's like, duh. You know.
We'll find out. All right, well, that wraps up Week 18. We'll tune in after the playoffs are set, get you an update on that. Time to pull chalks. We'll see you guys next time.